Hello friends, welcome to today's video. I'm so excited to be hanging out with you today. So thank you for clicking on this video and deciding to spend a few minutes with me. Today we have a super exciting video, super highly requested, and something I love to film is a full day of eating. Y'all know that I'm a huge foodie. My life revolves around food. So making a video solely dedicated to food is right up my alley. Before we jump into the best meal of the day, aka breakfast, I wanted to let y'all know that I have partnered with RX bars for this video, which I am pumped about because RX bars have been a staple in my pantry for quite some time now. So I was stoked when they reached out to me. Basically, the main thing you need to know about RX bars is that you feel good about eating them, which is super important to me. After dealing with a bunch of health issues last year, I really took a closer look at what I was putting into my body and got rid of like so much stuff that was in my pantry, so much fake food, so much processed stuff, and really like started with a blank slate, and I have felt so much better. My symptoms have gotten so much better, and overall it was just worth the switch. So the main thing I love about RX bars is that they are good for you and they taste healthy in the best way. They have really great ingredients, and it says right on the label, there's no BS, which I love. So pretty much every flavor has 3 egg whites, some sort of nut like peanuts or almonds, dates to hold it together, and then ingredients like chocolate and sea salt and vanilla and stuff like that to make them taste even more delicious. On top of just being full of healthy stuff, they're also gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, so I feel great putting these into my body and they taste amazing. They're a super convenient snack, really well balanced, great for on the go or just when you're feeling lazy or have a little sweet tooth. So yeah, it's honestly really hard to pick a favorite flavor, but I think my top 3 are the maple sea salt, the blueberry, which just tastes like blueberry pie basically, and the chocolate peanut butter, or maybe the coconut chocolate. I'm telling you guys, it's really hard, but I really hope you give them a try if you haven't already. If you do want to try them, you can order them from rxbar.com/MarieWold and then get 25% off with code MarieWold, which is just my name, of course. So I really hope you try them. Get a variety of flavors because there really is something for everyone, whether it's like sweet and salty or fruity or chocolatey or really whatever your little heart desires. So definitely give them a try. And of course, I will show you when I eat one later, so stay tuned for that. But I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you again to RX Bars for partnering with me, and let's get started with some breakfast. So first things first, coffee. Andrew and I are huge coffee snobs, so we start with really good freshly roasted beans and grind them at home. And then for the best tasting coffee ever, we use a Chemex, which is basically the best method for pour over coffee. It takes a little longer than just pouring in some grounds and hitting start on your coffee maker, but to us it's 100% worth it. The taste is way less bitter, more smooth, and you can actually taste the notes of the coffee beans. And while that brews, I make my breakfast, which has been the exact same thing for a few months now, and I'll probably get sick of it soon and move on to a new obsession, but for now, I am still loving it. The recipe is super simple: 1 serving of oats with a teaspoon each of chia seeds and ground flax mixed in. Then that's cooked with water in the microwave. Super simple. Once that's done, I stir in a couple ice cubes to cool it down a little, and then I add 1 scoop of PE Science Vegan Select Protein in the Peanut Butter Delight flavor, which is my favorite. And the vegan protein is a little bit tricky to mix in compared to regular protein, but it's so worth the effort because it makes the oats super thick and delicious. And if needed, I also add a splash of almond milk to make it the right consistency. Now that is delicious on its own, but the toppings are what really make this amazing and just the best breakfast ever. I sprinkle on half a serving of mini chocolate chips, and then I also drizzle on half a serving of natural creamy peanut butter as well. And this next step is crucial, you guys. You have to fold and swirl, not mix the chocolate and peanut butter in. You want there to be like these melty ribbons of everything in each bite, and that is where the magic happens. It's just the best thing ever. And finally, just grind some pink salt on top, which just brings out all the flavors and brings in that sweet and salty flavor that I love. And by the time I'm done making my oatmeal masterpiece that is just so beautiful and so delicious, the coffee is ready as well. So I pour myself a cup and add some steamed almond milk and stevia to sweeten it. And it's just so good. I'm obsessed with this breakfast, and I hope you guys really try my oatmeal creation, because I promise you, you will die and go to heaven, and you will just go to bed every night so excited to wake up and eat it like I do. After breakfast, I did some work for a while, then went to the gym and lifted and did some cardio. So lunch was my post-workout meal. I was craving toast, so I decided to go the second breakfast route and make an egg sandwich. First, I toasted a couple slices of my all-time favorite gluten-free bread, and while that was going, I threw 1 whole egg and 1 egg white into a pan and cooked that up with just some salt and pepper. Once the bread was perfectly toasty, I spread some plain cream cheese on there before putting the eggs on top. And then finally, I finished with a generous sprinkle of Trader Joe's everything but the bagel seasoning, which is life-changing, you guys. And by the way, I typically try to keep my post-workout meals a little bit lower in fat than this so that my muscles can get the nutrients sooner. Fat slows digestion, but I was craving this and it was so good, so no regrets, not even a letter. After lunch, I did some more work, and then later we went to Whole Foods to restock on some essentials. I got tons and tons of produce and plant-based items. Just wanted to give you guys a quick overview. Let me know if you want a more in-depth grocery haul next time. I picked up this Not a Moo dairy-free ice cream when we were at Whole Foods, and I just couldn't help myself, and I had to try it, and it is freaking delicious. I definitely want to try more flavors next time. But in addition to that snack, I also had a couple cans of LaCroix sparkling water. This is my favorite beverage to have and to sip on when I'm at home and just feeling a little snacky but not actually hungry. So dinner was by far the most time-consuming meal of the day because I was trying out a new recipe, and I don't usually spend this much time cooking, but I saw this recipe for a roasted cauliflower and chickpea salad on Pinterest, and it just looked super amazing. So I decided to go ahead and make it. I started by chopping this head of cauliflower into florets. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want them to all be roughly the same size so that they cook evenly. And then along with that, I cut half of a red onion into thin slices and added those into the bowl with the cauliflower. Then I drizzled everything with a little extra virgin olive oil and added a bunch of salt, pepper, and garlic to the mix as well. You want to toss everything and make sure each piece is coated and then transfer to a baking sheet. Then you'll pop that into the oven at 400 degrees for 30 or so minutes, stopping to stir and flip the pieces over about halfway through. While that was in the oven, I worked on the other ingredients, so I roughly chopped some handfuls of fresh cilantro and parsley, as well as cucumber and cherry tomatoes. When the cauliflower and onions were about 5 minutes out, I started sauteing the chickpeas. You want to drain and rinse them really well first, and then throw them in a hot pan with a little bit of oil, salt, pepper, garlic, and some chili powder. Toss those around until they are nice and crispy, then set them aside. And once the cauliflower and onions are nice and toasty, you can go ahead and take those out and you can start assembling your salad, which is the fun part. The recipe didn't call for any greens, but I decided to start with a base of spring mix and then just layered everything on top of there. So I finished it off with a serving of this garlic tahini dressing from Whole Foods and the juice of half of a lemon for just a little extra tang. Even though this did take me a little while to prepare because of the baking and all of the prep, it was so worth it. The flavors were absolutely insane. I'm playing around with more meat-free meals, and I truly did not miss it at all in this one. It was super satisfying and hearty while still being really fresh and healthy. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I always need a little something sweet after each meal. So after dinner, I decided to dig into my box of RX bars, and I grabbed the coconut chocolate one, which has chunks of chocolate and almonds and coconut in it, and it's absolutely delicious. And I did decide that this is officially my favorite. This last recipe is super quick and easy, and I eat it pretty much every single night when Andrew and I sit down to watch a movie or TV show. It's vegan protein chocolate chip cookie dough, and it tastes unreal, you guys. You just start with 1 scoop of the PE Science Vegan Select Protein again, and I like making this with either the vanilla or peanut butter, and then you just slowly mix in water until you get the right consistency. You can also use some sort of milk if you want, but water tastes great. I wouldn't recommend making this with regular dairy-based protein because it doesn't turn out the right texture. This protein absorbs a lot of moisture, and that also means that 1 small scoop ends up being pretty voluminous. So once you get it to the texture that you want, you can simply mix in some mini chocolate chips, and then this is optional, but I also like to add in a sprinkle of raw oats to give it a little more texture. I'm that weirdo that loves oatmeal in their cookies. You can also play around with this and try to make some funfetti cookies with sprinkles or oatmeal raisin or anything that you want, really. And then last but not least, if you have the patience, pop it into the fridge and let it chill for a little bit for that true cookie dough experience, and enjoy. Alright guys, that is going to wrap up this full day of eating. Andrew and I are going to watch some Netflix on the couch. Our current obsession is Somebody Feed Phil. It's this really funny, like, travel eating series. It's the writer of Everybody Loves Raymond, and he's hysterical, and he basically is like everyone's older uncle that's just hilarious and like lanky and awkward, and he loves food, so I can really relate to him. Awkward, loves food, loves to travel. That pretty much sums it up. So that's what we've been watching and loving, and it's giving us lots of great travel ideas. But I hope you guys loved this video. Don't forget to hit up rxbar.com/MarieWold to get your RX bars and use discount code MarieWold to save 25%. Anyway, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment down below what the most delicious looking meal was to you. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. I love you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.